Welcome back to Tivas Podcast. Today is going to be interesting. I have a guest who has been dead for about 2,500 years. He doesn't have a Twitter handle, he's never done a TED Talk, and he definitely doesn't care about my subscriber count. I have prepared a 3-page intro here about his royal lineage, the Shakya clan, the prophecy. You know what? I'm tossing it. You don't need the resume. You know who he is. Welcome to the studio, Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha.
Thank you, Tivas. It is very bright in here.
Yeah, those are the ring lights. They help hide the bags under my eyes. Which, coincidentally, is why you're here. I'm tired, Siddhartha. I'm mentally exhausted. And looking at the comment section, so is everyone else watching this. We are a generation of overthinkers.
You carry the weight of the world, yet you do not move your feet. That is a tiring way to live.
Exactly. But here's the friction point right out of the gate. You lived in ancient India. Your biggest distraction was what? A mosquito? Maybe a tiger? I have a supercomputer in my pocket that pings me 400 times a day with news about pending economic collapse, AI taking my job, and my ex-girlfriend's vacation photos. So be honest, can your philosophy actually handle the speed of 2024? Or is it just nice poetry for people who have time to sit under trees?
The speed of the chariot has changed, Tivas. The mind of the driver has not.
That sounds cool, but dig deeper. My monkey mind isn't just jumping from branch to branch, it's on a high-speed rail. If I sit still, the algorithm punishes me. If I disconnect, I lose money. Silence feels like a luxury I can't afford.
You believe the noise is the source of your livelihood.
In the attention economy, yes. Silence is invisible. Noise is currency.
And yet, you invited me here because the noise is making you sick. You are like a man drinking salt water to quench his thirst. You say, I must drink or I will die. But the more you drink, the more your throat burns.
Great metaphor. So I'm dehydrating myself to death while drowning.
You are suffering. This is the first noble truth, dukkha. But you blame the phone. You blame the algorithm. You think if you smash the black mirror, you will find peace. But I tell you, if you lived in the forest with no phone, your mind would simply find something else to scream about. The monkey does not need a screen to be restless.
I don't know. I feel like the screen gives the monkey cocaine. But let's talk about the specific mechanics of this suffering. Overthinking. I replay conversations, I anticipate disasters, I script arguments in the shower that never happen. Why do we do this? Why is the brain designed to torture itself?
It is the arrow.
The arrow?
The teaching of the Sala Sutta. Imagine, Tivas, you are walking down the street and someone insults you. They say, this podcast is boring.
Ouch. Hypothetically speaking, of course.
This is the first arrow. It strikes you. It hurts. It is unpleasant. This is reality. You cannot avoid the first arrow. People will be rude. You will lose money. You will get sick.
Okay, arrow 1 is just life happening.
Yes, but then, immediately, you pick up a second arrow. And with this second arrow, you stab yourself in the same wound. You say, why did he say that? I am a failure. My career is over. Everyone hates me. You spin a story. You obsess. You replay the insult for 3 days. 3 days? Try 3 years. I still remember a YouTube comment from 2018 calling my voice nasally. You are carrying a corpse. The comment is dead. The person who wrote it has likely forgotten it. But you keep the corpse fresh. You stab yourself with the second arrow every morning. The first arrow was shot by the stranger. The second arrow, the suffering, is shot by you.
That's confronting. But hold on, let me play devil's advocate. Isn't that second arrow sometimes useful? If I obsess over a mistake, isn't that how I learn? If I'm terrified of AI taking my job, that fear drives me to learn new skills. If I just drop the arrow, don't I become complacent?
There is a difference between virya, energy and effort, and uddhacca, restlessness. You can prepare for the storm without trembling. If you see clouds, you fix the roof. That is action. That is wisdom. But you are not fixing the roof. You are pacing the floor, screaming at the sky, asking, "Why me?" Imagining the house flooding. This does not fix the roof. It only exhausts the builder.
So overthinking is inefficient labor.
It is useless suffering. You think your worry is a shield. You think, if I worry enough, I can control the future. But the future is like the wind. You cannot catch it in a net.
Control. That's the drug, isn't it? I want to know for a fact that I'm going to be okay.
And because you cannot know, you suffer.
Let's pivot to the self, because a lot of my overthinking is about me, my reputation, my brand. In the West, and especially in the US, we are obsessed with main character energy. We are the stars of our own movies. But you have this concept of anatta, no self. To be honest, Siddhartha, that sounds terrifying. If there is no me, then who's cashing the checks? Who's my wife married to? If I dissolve my ego, do I turn into a doormat?
You fear losing the self because you think the self is a solid object, like a statue. You spend your whole life polishing this statue. I am Tivas. I am successful. I am funny. You build a fence around it. You put alarm systems on it.
I definitely have alarm systems. I check my analytics every hour.
But Tivas, look at the Tivas of 10 years ago. Is he the same man?
No, he was an idiot, and he had terrible hair.
And the Tivas of tomorrow, will he be the same?
Hopefully wiser, probably grayer.
So you are not a statue. You are a river. You are a flowing process of thoughts, feelings, and body parts. But you cling to one freeze frame of the river and say, "This is me. This must not change." And when the river changes, because rivers always flow, you suffer.
So anatta isn't about not existing, it's about not being rigid.
It is about realizing that the thing you are defending does not exist. When someone insults you, they are insulting a ghost. If you realize you are empty of a permanent self, the insult passes through you like wind through a window. It hits nothing.
Being transparent, that sounds like a superpower, but it's hard when the insults feel personal.
It feels personal because you take ownership of the pain. You say, "My pain, my anger." You treat emotions like pets. You keep them on a leash.
I don't treat them like pets. Pets are cute. My anxiety is more like a feral raccoon I can't get out of the attic.
Then stop feeding the raccoon.
How? It raids the fridge.
You feed it with attention. You feed it with resistance. You say, "I hate this raccoon. I want it gone." That is energy. That is food.
So what do? Let it trash the house?
You watch it.
Watch it. That's it? That's the big enlightenment secret?
It is the hardest thing you will ever do. When the anxiety comes, when the raccoon appears, you do not fight it. You do not run from it. You sit. You breathe. You say, "Ah, I see you are visiting." You watch it run around. You do not judge it. Eventually, if you do not feed it with fear, it gets bored. It leaves.
The starve the raccoon method. I like that. But let's apply this to something darker. Loneliness. We're more connected than ever, yet we are lonely. I have guests on this show who have millions of followers but cry in their dressing rooms. How do we apply this to the deep ache of modern isolation?
You are lonely because you are disconnected from yourself. You look for connection in the likings of strangers.
Likes. We call them likes.
Likes. You hold out a begging bowl to the world and ask, "Please, fill me." But the world cannot fill you. The world is also hungry. When two hungry ghosts meet, they cannot feed each other.
Damn. When two hungry ghosts meet, they cannot feed each other. That explains modern dating apps perfectly.
You must become full within yourself first. You must befriend the one who sits in the silence. If you can sit alone in a room and feel at peace, you are never lonely. And when you meet others, you meet them to share your fullness, not to take from theirs. That is metta, loving kindness.
It sounds beautiful, truly. But I have to push back with the modern friction again. This takes time. It takes practice. I have a mortgage. I have deadlines. I have people relying on me. Your path, the middle way, it requires a level of dedication that feels incompatible with the 9-to-5 grind. Can I be a Buddhist and a capitalist? Can I be enlightened and still want a Porsche?
You can own the Porsche, but does the Porsche own you?
Okay, that's a good distinction.
There is nothing wrong with wealth. There is nothing wrong with work. The poison is tanha, the craving, the attachment. If the Porsche is scratched, do you bleed?
Physically, no. Emotionally, probably a little.
Then you are owned by the car. You are a slave to a piece of metal. You can live in the marketplace, Tivas. You can work. You can build. But you must remain the master of your mind. You must know that all of this, the studio, the money, the fame, is anicca, impermanent. It will all burn eventually.
You really know how to kill the vibe, Siddhartha. It will all burn.
Is it not true?
It is, and that's the terror. We overthink because we're terrified of the end. We fill our lives with noise so we don't hear the clock ticking.
The clock ticks whether you hear it or not. The noise does not stop death. It only ruins life.
So the only way to beat the fear of death is to, what, accept it?
To die before you die.
Okay, now you're getting mystical on me. Unpack that.
Let go of the ego now. Let go of the need to be someone now. If you are already empty, death cannot take anything from you. You are free. You can play the game of life with joy because you know it is just a game. You are not afraid to lose.
Play the game with joy. I think I've forgotten how to play. I'm just trying to win.
There is no winning. There is only playing.
You know, for a guy who renounced the world, you understand the human condition better than any psychologist I've had on this show. We're running out of time. And I want to leave the audience and myself with something tangible because tomorrow morning, the alarm goes off. The raccoon wakes up. The notifications start. What is the one tactical thing I can do to stop the spiral?
The breath.
I knew you were going to say that. It's so cliché. Just breathe. It's on every yoga mat in Los Angeles.
It is cliché because it is true, but you do not do it. You talk about it.
Call me out. Okay.
The breath is the anchor. Your mind floats to the future, terror. It floats to the past, regret. The body is always here. The breath is always now. You cannot breathe for 10 minutes from now. You can only breathe this breath.
So when I feel the panic,
stop. Do not check the phone. Do not speak. Close your mouth. Feel the air enter the nostrils. Cool air in, warm air out. Do this 3 times.
3 times.
In that space, you break the chain. The monkey pauses. And in that pause, you have a choice. You can choose to pick up the second arrow, or you can choose to let it lie on the ground.
It's about creating that gap, the gap between the stimulus and the reaction.
That gap is where your freedom lives.
That gap is where your freedom lives. I might tattoo that on my arm, or maybe I'll just write it on a Post-it note. It's less permanent. Anicca, right?
Wisely chosen.
Siddhartha, this has been heavy, but in a good way. Like dropping a backpack I didn't know I was wearing. Thank you for coming to the future.
Thank you for inviting me to the noise.
We try our best. All right, guys, you heard the man. Put down the second arrow, starve the raccoon, and take 3 breaths before you leave a comment on this video. I'm Tivas. This is the Buddha. We'll see you in the next one.